Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about the political ramifications of The Big Bang Theory, the show that was on CBS for 11 years. Pretty incredible show, and there's a lot of political ramifications that come out of this show. Specifically today, I want to talk about the political ramifications of how long will you be able to watch this show? I think it's a big question. All right, so let's jump in, right? So one of the things is, today I'm going to tell you how long you're going to be able to watch Big Bang Theory. I don't think it's going to be long. But first, before I do that, I want to just explain something, right? So one of the things that I want to explain is that I'm trying to, so one, I do political commentary, and I want to try to shift my political commentary no longer to say, is this right? Is this wrong? What is the moral choice here, right? If you want decisions about morality and you want to be told what's right and wrong, go to MSNBC, go to the Washington Post, go to the New York Times, organizations that used to be about objective journalism but now are incredibly in the business of telling you what's morally right and what's morally wrong. They have picked up that banner and they can carry it forward, right? Because I'm doing refraction journalism. They could do a new type of journalism, which is morality journalism, and that has massively been picked up by the Washington Post, the New York Times, the Huffington Post, and actually take Huffington Post out of there. Almost all the major, all the major news networks, right? They have completely and fully abandoned objectivity under Donald Trump. I think they have officially abandoned objectivity under Donald Trump. I would say, CNN, all major news networks, ABC, CBS, NBC, certainly MSNBC, all major news sources really have completely. I think before Donald Trump, they had unofficially abandoned objectivity. Now they have fully officially abandoned it. There are times I've been seeing this on YouTube recently where even they're oh my gosh, I remember we're supposed to be objective and now we've overshot the mark. And it's there's a really good one recently about MSNBC where they're so slanted, it's hard for them to pretend they're actually a legitimate objective news source anymore. And so that's covered. People saying, oh, this is morally right, this is morally wrong. That's all covered by organizations that used to be objective news sources that are now morality news sources that are going to tell you what you should think morally, right? So what I'm trying to do is I want to move into prediction. I love prediction. I want to make this a record and just be able to point back and say, I told you, right? And because one, you can put it on record here and there's a chance somebody will listen, and at least there's a discourse and it adds to the overall internet discourse out there, and I think that's useful. So I want to do prediction, and then I want to talk tactics and strategy. So today, as a political agent in America, you as a voting citizen, right? You should be aware of what's available to you now and what's going to be available to you in the future. And one of the reasons why is 2020 has been, I'll tell you right now, 1942, right? It's the middle of World War II, right? All the years of World War II are nothing compared to 2020. 2020 was the year that a crisis actually touched down. That a crisis had boots on the ground in America. Coronavirus put boots on the ground in America. There isn't an army in the world that can put boots on the ground in America. You couldn't combine 10 countries, and you could take the strongest 10 countries in the world and say, hey, we'll give you the ability to put boots on the ground in America. They wouldn't dare, right? But coronavirus put boots on the ground in America. This is a real war, a war against infection, right? And the reality is, wars have been when you say war, you're kind of you have to scratch your head a little bit because you're well, America really doesn't do war like any other country in the history of the world. There's never anyone here. There isn't any struggle over America. We haven't had boots on the ground in America in 200 years, right? So it's ridiculous, right? And we have reached a point where America is an absolutely massively safe bulwark, right? But the reality is 2020 has massively changed the world. And one of the things that I think is going on right now, let's get back to Big Bang Theory. you had better watch Big Bang Theory real quick. There's 11 seasons of it. I have watched it. 5-star television. I absolutely loved it. It's the perfect sitcom for today, right? And the reason why is it's about friendship. It's about mixed groups of people from different cultures, sharing one another's lives, sharing humor and music. It's about marriage. It's about big choices like having children. It's about procreation. It's about science. It's incredible. It's an incredibly good story, right? And there's 11 seasons of it. Now, the reason why I just watched it is we recently got a new phone for my family, okay? With that, HBO Max came for free. I have not turned on Netflix in 3 weeks since we got it, right? I've watched nothing but HBO Max, right? And a big part of that, I've watched a lot of movies, I've watched some series, and a big part of that is I watched all 11 seasons of Big Bang Theory. CBS is the best channel there is in the world at making sure their content does not go on the internet and does not go on streaming services. So before I got HBO Max, I never had the extended ability to watch Big Bang Theory. I always enjoyed it, but it was a treat I couldn't have because I just didn't have any. And by the way, another thing is you're like, why didn't you just turn on your TV and watch it on CBS? We haven't done that since 9/11. You can't put on a channel in our house. Everything comes through streaming services, right? So it's YouTube, Crunchyroll, HBO Max. These are streaming services we have. Amazon Prime, Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus. That's 7 streaming services. And with that, we have absolutely no need for live television. And frankly, we literally have a cable box right now that sits unplugged because we don't even know what to do with live television. It just serves no function in our family, okay? But I will tell you right now, here's the kicker. Here's where we're going with this video. You darn well better watch this show. All right, quick. And the reason why is this will only last one generation. So right now, there are so many jokes in this thing that, according to cancel culture, this should not exist. This should not exist. Gender, right? The jokes that Howard tells on Raj, they will not survive even 10 more years, in my opinion. There's no way. No possible way, right? Now, the show comes at it from the perspective of this is humorous, this is, we're using the license of narrative to tell these stories, right? And I think that it was a good-natured show, and I think it did really well for all the actors and actresses, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I will tell you, I am predicting now, one generation from now, 25 years, this show will be thoroughly unwatchable. You won't be able to stream it anywhere. Now, why do I say that? Well, it's already starting. Scrubs, episodes out, right? You can no longer watch Scrubs from start to finish. You can't do it. You can't stream it. You cannot, right? And the reason why is our culture has said this is not acceptable, right? And so what they did was they were like, oh, let's etch out these episodes. Well, how long will that be before somebody says, hey, we took these episodes out, shouldn't the whole thing be gone? And so the reality is, I think, and here's where we're at. I'm not saying this is right or wrong. I'm predicting now. Absolutely no media will be of any use one generation past its creation date. None. And the reason why is the culture changes so fast, and our current modern culture has absolutely no forgiveness for mistakes made at an earlier time. Right now, what we're deciding in 2020 is that all culture will be judged. All culture, no matter when it was made, will be judged by the morality of the point in time that it is by the now. All culture will be judged by the now. And so series won't functionally exist because they'll either be gone, no service will be unembarrassed to actually put it forward, right? And so you won't be able to stream it anywhere, right? Or it will be not good right? Like, it'll just not be good enough. So one thing is pace always accelerates with all the, so basically we don't have any tolerance for slow television. That's why I can't watch anything older than 20 years. I don't watch much that's older than you know what? I'll go back 40 years, but I won't watch anything older than 40 years because it's just the pace is just too slow, right? So that's my point is the political ramifications of Big Bang Theory right now is that you'd best watch it now because you ain't got long. There's no possibility that Big Bang Theory's jokes on gender, on procreation, on culture, there's no possibility they will last more than one generation, 25 years. And I am absolutely not saying that is right or wrong. I'm saying that will be. I am predicting we have made a choice in 2020, right? That all media will be, and that means books, movies, everything, right? Shakespeare, come on, man. Like, can we keep that stuff around? There's some really, really, his jokes on procreation, gender, culture. Come on, get that guy out of here. Are you kidding me? Right? And that's why I don't read, and that's why I don't waste my time reading Shakespeare. That's the only reason I don't take my time reading Shakespeare, not because it's really difficult to read. So that is my prediction is, if you see something and you like it, you darn well better watch it now, right? Because there ain't no way you're going to be able to stream it one generation from now. That is faux show, right? Oh, that's my opinion. What do you think? Do you think anybody will be able to watch Big Bang Theory in its present state 25 years from now? I'd love to hear your opinion. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.